Alright everyone, this is Zero Budget Geek and welcome back to Magic Duels Battle for Zendikar coverage. I'm going through, I've unlocked all the cards already and I'm going through each color one by one and taking a look at the cards and discussing them with you. Not so much discussion, but I'm just reading out the cards and then, on some of them, the ones that stand out to me, I'll give you my thoughts. In the past episodes, we looked at white, blue, and black, and in this episode, we're going to look at the red cards. If you missed my prior episodes, be sure to check in the upper right-hand corner to the link for the other episodes. So, without further ado, let's look at the red cards. So, we have the Akum Firebird. It is a 4-cost Phoenix. It's a 3/3 flyer, flying haste. It attacks each turn if able. And it has landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 6 mana. If you do, return Akum Firebird from your graveyard to the battlefield. Now that is pretty key. I like that. It is. You do got to pay a lot for a 3/3, but I can see some good use out of that. So let's go ahead and look at the next card here. Goblin Warpaint, a 2-cost enchantment, and it gives a creature 2/2 and haste. Interesting. Pretty basic card though, nothing to scream home about. We have a Akum Hellkite. Oh, some dragons. Alright, it costs 6 mana for 4/4. Reminds me of a Shivan Dragon. Wait, Shivan Dragon was a 5/5, wasn't he? Alright, dragon. Anyway, he has flying and landfall. Whenever land enters the battlefield in control, Akum Hellkite deals 1 damage to target creature or player. If that land is a mountain, it deals 2 damage to that creature or player instead. Very nice. Damn, that's awesome. No wonder he cost 6 mana. Alright, we will have over here a Lava Step Raider. 1 mana for a 1/2, not bad. And you pay 3 mana and he gets +2 attack until end of turn. So he can become a 3/2. And that is not a tappable, so you can pay that continuously. So very interesting guy. You can see, you might see that guy in some of those red deck wins. Akum Stonewalker, a 2 mana human shaman for 2. It's a 2/1 creature, and it has landfall. Whenever land enters the battlefield under control, you may pay 3 mana. If you do, put a 3/1 red element creature token with trample and haste onto the battlefield. Exile that token at the beginning of the next end step. So, it's only temporary, but a 3/1 with haste is not bad. I could see. Yeah, I can see this going into red deck wins, just because the haste and the damage. So very cool, interesting card there. Makindi Slide Runner. It's a 2-cost creature beast. It's a 2/1. It has trample. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. That's interesting. A small trampler. So you put him into play. Next turn you put a land, so he'll become a 3/2 trampler. Well, I guess he'll be good if you can get him early enough. He can be really good, but I'm not that impressed with him. We have a Barrage Tyrant. It costs 5 mana. He is a rare. It's a 5/3. He's devoid, which means he has no color. You pay 3 mana, sacrifice another colorless creature. Barrage Tyrant deals damage equal to the sacrificed creature's power to target creature or player. So basically, just like the picture, he picks up your other guys and throws them at your opponent. You're definitely gonna see this guy in those sacrifice decks. Steal their guys and then toss it back at them. And he is kind of flimsy with his only 3 health, but 5 damage that he could do on an attack. And this ability here doesn't cause him to tap, so you can attack on the turn that you use it or whatever. So very cool. And you can use this sacrifice the other creature, so you can sacrifice the other creature as it's about to die. Useful, very useful. I like that guy right there. We have a Nettle Drone, 3 mana creature. It's a 3/1. It has devoid, so it's no color, and you tap it. Nettle Drone deals 1 damage to each opponent, so it does it to your opponent, not to creatures. Whenever you cast a color spell, untap Nettle Drone. Wow. So you could like maybe tap him, do a damage, play a spell, untap him, and either do the damage again or just go in for the attack, or have him as a defender. So This is interesting card. I can see some use with this guy here. We have Boiling Earth, a 2-mana sorcery. Boiling Earth deals 1 damage to each creature your opponents control. Now that is cool. That makes it worthwhile. It's only 1 damage, but to all your opponent's creatures, really cool. You can do this sort of after a combat, and it does have Awaken of 7, which will give you a 4/4 creature. Interesting card. Kind of limited, but I can see this getting some early use. We have the Andu Champion, 4 mana for 4/3. He is an ally, which is pretty important. Allies are important in this set, and he has Rally. Whenever Andu Champion or another ally enters the battlefield under your control, creatures you control gain trample until end of turn. Man, I'm really getting nervous with these ally rally abilities. I mean, they look like they can get really crazy out of hand. We have a Chasm Guide here, a 4 mana 3/2 creature. He has Rally. Whenever Chasm Guide or another ally enters the battlefield under your control, creatures you control gain haste until end of turn. Again, there's that ally ability that could just be really rough, especially because you're not expecting them. They're just gonna happen right away. You know, by the time you read the ability, it's happening already. So it's pretty interesting. I think you're gonna see those decks a lot. Processor Assault, 2 mana sorcery. It is devoid. As an additional cost to cast, as an additional cost to cast Processor Assault, put a card an opponent owns from exile into that player's graveyard. Processor Assault deals 5 damage to target creature. Remember, they have to have an exile card for you to do this, but man, 5 damage for only 2 mana is really cool, and you're giving them back a card that they may or may not ever use. So very interesting. I like that. We have a Firemantle Mage, 3 mana for 2/2. He's an ally with Rally. Whenever him or another ally enters the battlefield, creatures you control gain menace until end of turn. Oh my god, this ally stuff is it's scary. It is really scary because it looks like they could, ramp up really fast. Radiant Flames, 3 mana sorcery. It's a rare. Converge. Radiant Flames deals X damage to each creature, where X is the number of colors of mana spent to cast Radiant Flame. So best you can do is 3. So this could do 3 damage to all creatures in play if you cast it with 3 colors. Yeah, you gotta prepare for the spell, but this could be really interesting. But with those Scion tokens, it's actually gonna be easy to get these Converge abilities. So I like this card. This is a good global damage spell. Alright, we have on the next page we have a Reckless Cohort, 2 mana for 2/2. Not bad. He attacks each combat if able, unless you control another ally. So he attacks recklessly. Well, that's his name, recklessly. But if you have allies, you can control them. So not bad. You'll see that guy in ally decks. 2 mana for 2/2 is pretty good. Vestige of Amracool. It's a 4-cost creature. It's a 3/4. He's devoid with trample, and that's it. That's what he's got. But he is colorless, so he can add on to all kinds of other effects, and it won't take much to make him pretty big. And I mean, even adding a 1/1 on him makes him a 4/5 that becomes hard to deal with, especially with the trample. All right, we have the Retreat to Valakut. It's a 3 mana enchantment. 3 mana enchantment with landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, choose 1. Target creature gets +2 attack, or target creature can't block this turn. I'm kind of liking these the cycle of enchantments. They have several abilities, and you kind of trigger them for free whenever you play a land. So the fact that they have 2 uses make them at least worthy of some consideration. We have Vile Aggregate, a 3 mana Eldrazi Joan. It's 5 toughness. It's devoid, has no color. Vile Aggregate's power is equal to the number of colorless creatures you control, and he has trample, and he has ingest, and he's only an uncommon. With the number of colorless creatures floating around, this guy could get really big easily, and he automatically comes with a 5 toughness. So you could cast this guy early in a game. Wow, I like this guy. because he gives himself 1, so he'll be a 1/5 when you first play him, even if by himself. Very useful, and his trample helps his ingest. Wow, this guy's really good. Yeah, I'm gonna probably be seeing that guy a lot. Rolling. Oh yes, I love this. I love this card. Actually, I think this card goes way back. Oh man, how far back does it go? I don't remember, but this goes way back. A 2 red X spell is a sorcery. Rolling Thunder deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and our players. Again, I've been looking for mass damage spells, and Battle for Zendikar is bringing it out, so good to see that. We're gonna be calling gold cards another episode. We have a Shatter Skull recruit, 5 mana for 4/4, and he has menace. This is not bad. He's a giant. For a plain card is nice. The menace is what makes it work. 5 mana for 4/4 that will be hard to block. That's pretty cool. You pop anything on him, and he's an ally. Oh my god, that just made him even worse. This guy is kind of scary now. Now that I see that he has the ally, that can be real scary. We have Stone Fury. It costs 5 mana. It's an instant. It deals damage to target creature equal to the number of lands you control. So this could potentially be big. I mean, it's probably going to be 5 damage when you cast it if you have 5 lands when you play it. So, yeah, this is interesting. That's an interesting red damage spell. We have a Touch the Void, 3 mana sorcery. The Void has no color. Touch of the Void deals 3 damage to target creature or player. If a creature dealt damage this way would die this turn, exile it instead. So they brought back, this is like what was it, the Incinerate card. It deals 3 damage and you exile it. I like this card. Oh, I really like this card. I think you're gonna see this coming around. That's gonna probably be a very common burn spell. And then we have the Valakut Invoker, 3 mana for a 2/3, and you pay 8, and he deals 3 damage to target creature or player. Well, I can see this being used, but most of the time you're only getting a 2/3 for 3 mana, which is not terrible, because you're not often gonna get to use that 8 ability. So not very impressed, but I'm sure people are gonna prove me wrong. So that'll be it for red. We're covering gold cards in their own episode, so that'll be it for this episode. Remember, if you miss any episodes in this series of my Battle for Zendikar coverage, be sure to check in the upper right hand corner to see the link to other episodes. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.